This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee.
T.I. has lifted that ban against Houston's. That's because he said they were racist and they had racist policies. Well, according to sources close to T.I., he's had several meetings with executives at the Atlanta area Houston's, and they have agreed to certain things. They assured him there will be no racial discrimination in seating customers. People have been complaining about that already. They also said the dress code would be more relaxed because T.I. felt like the dress code would discriminate against African Americans. And they also agreed to bring more minorities into the restaurant's business.
I'm going to go ahead, T.I.
Okay.
Drop one of the
All right, T.I.
Great job.
T.I. out here getting things done, okay? Putting that big vocabulary, the good juice.
So now you can go back to Houston's if you hadn't been going. Thankfully, they were receptive to listen to what he had to say and the community's complaints.
Well, I'm sure Jeezy's
because
happy.
of the ban.
I'm sure Jeezy's happy about that because he's addicted to Houston's. He loves the spinach dip.
Well, let's take it to Houston now. Trey the Truth. Now, he's still banned on the radio out there. And he has now taken legal action to fight that ban. Now, previously, he had done that against the program manager and Radio 1 back, I think it was about 8 years ago. But that case got dismissed. Well, now he has a new case that he's filed. He even talks about all the relief that he's been providing to people in Houston since Hurricane Harvey hit. We see that every single day.
We see it.
To this day, it's still happening. And that radio station acknowledged every other celebrity except for Trey the Truth, who gave their time and money to help Houston.
Which is petty as hell, by the way.
That's very petty.
Trey the Truth is a hometown hero. He's out there helping the people of Houston, helping the community, and you won't even acknowledge this brother because of some petty past feud that you had with Trey the Truth. That's corny as hell.
Right, and that feud all started back at Trey Day in 2009. There was a shooting. 8 people were shot during that incident, and there was back and forth. He went up to the radio station, did an interview, and they just had some...
And by the way, when you got personalities on the station who've been in Houston for so long, they supposed to go to them lame-ass executives and say, man, what are y'all doing? This man means more to the city of Houston than this goddamn radio station.
It might be a personality he had a conflict with. You know what I mean? But at this point, they should talk it out. Trey does too much for that community.
Right.
Too much.
And it's like they have this just stubborn, we will never, ever give in for anything. It doesn't even make any sense anymore at this point. He's willing to come to the table.
I want to know what Trey did. Whose wife did Trey sleep with at that radio station? What did Trey do?
Well, I guess he did a diss record against the personality.
A diss record?
That's it.
That's all?
You know how many diss records go at Charlamagne? Matter of fact, my single right now is
and by the way,
this is Charlamagne.
You know what I hate about that? The fact that he don't say my name clear enough.
I know.
Okay.
We know you want your name heard.
You know I want my recognition. If you're going to diss me, at least say my name.
But you know what the worst part is? I remember when all this was happening because I spoke to Trey at the time, and they would fire you at the station even if you weren't at work, if you were at a club and played one of his songs. Somebody got fired for that.
Oh, that person could have sued.
I hope Trey wins that lawsuit, and I hope that Trey gets his own Quiet Storm show. I think they need to bring the Quiet Storm back and let Trey the Truth host it.
Trey
got that deep.
Well, not on that other station. If they're going to give him a show, they got to give it on our station in Houston.
This is Trey the Truth.
But anyway, Trey
Thug
has a lot of
love.
great things happening with him. He has a baby on the way also. So.
That's because Thug Love is real. With Trey.
Shut up, man.
You can't see Trey the Truth hosting the Thug Love show in Houston.
I've never heard him scream or he just always has that
same boat. This is him, Barry White.
All right, now let's talk about Omarosa. She was on with Stephen Colbert, and she had a lot of things to say about working for Donald Trump. She talks about escaping the plantation and being so loyal to him because she was friends with him for 15 years. So certain things she just can't say. And here is Omarosa.
He's going to come after me with everything he has. Like, I'm going up against a gazillionaire. I'm tired of being muted. I've been just putting all this stuff, just watching stuff, never saying anything, because I'm from the streets, you know?
Oh, Lord.
Let's just get stitches. That's the mantra.
Come on.
I have been so loyal to the point where people are looking at me like something is wrong. Like, why wouldn't you just say something? But that was all I had as my word, and I've been so loyal. But, ooh, freedom. I'm emancipated. I feel like I just got freed off of a plantation.
Did she do these snitches get stitches analogy?
Yes. Who gave Omarosa her Fisher Price Black Now starter kit? That comes with certain lingo. Snitches get stitches. Okay? Like how all of a sudden you was on the plantation. You was willingly on the plantation. You was volunteering to pick the cotton. Okay?
Yeah.
Snitches.
All right, here's more
You
of
ain't from the street.
Here's more of
The White House that I worked in, that Trump administration, it was troubling. And it was very difficult. And my analogy of it being a plantation, being an ecosystem of work where people feel oppressed is pretty clear. When you aren't allowed to do the job you were brought to do, to help be a change agent, to help be the liaison for communities that needed that assistance, that's where that oppression comes from. And that's what that analogy meant, Stephen.
You picked a side, Omarosa. Now you got to stay there. Okay, you know how you know Omarosa trash? She's a black woman, and other black women don't even come to her defense.
I don't think anybody likes her.
She's out here using the trigger words, trying to stir up the emotional and cultural outrage that makes you feel like, you have an obligation to stand with her, and they still not standing with her.
Right.
That's how you know Omarosa is trash.
So we could support everybody black, but not Omarosa.
But not Omarosa.
If Netflix offered Omarosa $500,000, people would say they were paying her too much. Okay.
Well, when Stephen Colbert introduced her, he introduced her as someone who went from the White House to the Big Brother house and managed to make it out of both of them alive. So that's why we heard that Big Brother clip, and then we heard her talking to Stephen Colbert about the plantation and escaping from the plantation.
Shut up, Omarosa. You was not escaping. You was there willingly volunteering to pick the cotton.
Now, one of the biggest news items that also happened from the White House most recently was the resignation of Donald Trump's communications director, Hope Hicks, who was also Omarosa's boss. And Hope Hicks did admit that she lied on Trump's behalf, and she didn't give any details on what she lied about, but here's what Omarosa had to say.
I would suspect the first big one might be about crowd size, but I don't want to really go into it.
Let's go into it. No, please, let's go into it. You worked in the Office of Communications. Let's communicate how big the crowd was.
Let's communicate. Yeah.
Oh,
I got to attend the inauguration of Bill Clinton, Bush, Obama, and when we got to the Trump inauguration and they said this was the largest crowd size, I'm like, man, I've been to a lot of inaugurations. This wasn't the biggest crowd size.
Don't you talk bad about your master now.
I don't want to hear that.
Don't you talk bad about your master now, Omarosa. Okay?
All right, well, I'm Angela Yee, and that is your Rumor Report.
The Breakfast Club. Every weekday morning. Tune in.